Part Delaware Indian, part African American, McLendon was born in 1915 and raised in Hiawatha, Kansas. He was a superb all-around athlete, a strong gymnast, and an excellent swimmer. But basketball was his love.
He wanted to go to Springfield College, where basketball was invented by Dr. Naismith. But then his father discovered that Dr. Naismith was right there at the University of Kansas.
So he took his son up there, told him to go see Dr. Naismith. John McLendon walked into his office and said, "You're going to be my advisor." Dr. Naismith said, "Who told you that?" And John McLendon said, "My father." Dr. Naismith said, "Fathers are always right." And I think Naismith really saw something exceptional about this young man and saw the passion for the game of basketball.
Naismith told him that the whole nature of basketball was to have activity. And the better you could play, the faster you could play, the more entertaining it was.
Dr. Naismith said it always bothered him when he would pass playgrounds and he would see kids playing in one basket, that he did not mean for the game to be played with one basket. The game should be played from baseline to baseline.
When McLendon left school, he went to North Carolina College, became the head basketball coach, and developed most of his theories on the fast break based on the Naismith philosophy.
At that time, the type of basketball being played all over the country was basically a half-court game. Played slow.
McLendon invented a game that was vigorous, lively, at top speed.
Coach McLendon devised a system where the ball should be shot an average of a shot every 8 seconds.
The fast break from a missed field goal. This fast break from a made field goal.
Now you got it, boy.
When you play these teams, you better be ready. I mean, emotionally and physically, the whole ball of wax, so they're coming at you.
John McLendon had been lured to Tennessee A&I by its president, Walter Davis.
His plan was to use athletics to put that university on the national map. And he knew about Coach McLendon. He recruited him very, very aggressively and told Coach McLendon, if you want to make your mark on a national scale, you need to come to my institution. And it was seductive. Coach McLendon went. The molding of the Tennessee A&I Tigers was very well organized and orchestrated by Coach McLendon. He recruited players to fit into a system.
And in 1955, one of his first recruits was schoolboy legend Dick Barnett.
I call McLendon an iron fist in a velvet glove. Never really raised his voice, never cursed, never used intimidating statements to players. He cared about you not just as an athlete, but as a productive citizen that's going to go out and make your way in the world.
Dick Barnett's Coach McLendon's special project from Gary, Indiana. He's one of those guys now, 2 or 3 slept in one bed. Coach McLendon loved him.
My father was a laborer. We lived in a segregated society. Roosevelt was an all-black school, and most other schools in Gary were white. He came to see my parents, and, you know, we'd love for your son to come to Tennessee State. I had no, of course, they had no reference to colleges except for what they might have seen on television or something like that. But fortunately, I saw a different world. And my aspiration was not to work in the steel mills of Gary.
You don't never need help.
Barnett firing, getting it in there. Hit short. Barnett firing and getting it. Dick Barnett. Barnett, good.
Whatever you do.
Dick Barnett had a glorious high school career. Had played against Oscar Robertson in the Indiana State Finals. Coach McLendon did have some concerns about Dick Barnett. Dick Barnett was, should we say, a free roller at the time.
I was seduced and intoxicated by sports, and really grades and academics really wasn't on my mind.
Dick Barnett was not a good student. He was really a functional illiterate. And they nurtured him through Tennessee State. The president of the school was very supportive of him.
It wasn't because he didn't have the brain power. He just wouldn't go to class. He skipped class and read books. They used to post the grades. You go there and you had either had your name or the number, and Barnett had F. Flunked everything on his midterm grades. So the guys who were his friends, you know, they kid him. They said, Dick, you know, said, I'm carrying a 3.3. He said, what's your average, man? Dick said, he talked right slow. He said, well, my average is 30 points a game, baby. What's yours?
Dick Barnett was, to us, when he played at Tennessee State, was one of the greatest basketball players to ever play. And he really brought to organized sports in that black college setting a lot of the spirit of the playground. You know, talking trash, get back, I can shoot over you, I'm in charge, I'm playing God, and that's not G-U-A-R-D, that's G-O-D.
Coach McLendon allowed Dick Barnett to have an individual style on the basketball court.
When he brought him to Tennessee State, people told him I need to change his style and all that. Coach McLendon said, you all got to be crazy.
Dick Barnett, of course, had this uncanny shot, which he called fall back, baby.
He would fade into the corner when he shot and shoot a long arching jump shot and kick his legs. So everybody wanted to act like Dick Barnett. And so on the playgrounds, in the corners where they have the fences, all of the fences were torn down partly in the corners in all the playgrounds in North Nashville because everybody was trying to fade into the corner like Dick Barnett.
Our games at Tennessee State would be sold out. In those audiences might be any number of whites. They would come and go and watch the games because Barnett averaged 30, 33 points a game. The team was scoring 90-some points a game. That's unlike anybody around had ever done. And so people came to see the show. Integrated audience on one hand, people side by side, stepping on each other's toes, and no telling what, no problem. Off campus, it was a different atmosphere.
We are here in the magnificent $6 million municipal auditorium of Kansas City, Missouri tonight with the most coveted of all titles at stake, this NAIA National Championship.
People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of their skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Rap on, brother, rap on. Well, segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to my nation.
With all the residue of racism that we had to face during that particular time. We were the first team to ever win 3 consecutive national championships in that era, which was unheard of.
Coach Johnny McLendon, your East Tennessee State national champion, NAIA presents the James Naismith Trophy, which is symbolic of our championship for this year. Congratulations to you, your school, and team.
We were the only black team there. And to be able to accomplish that, I think, was a great accomplishment.
The 3 straight national championships won by McLendon is the first time that any school had won 3 straight national championships.
Tennessee State and McLendon endeared himself to the African American community as a result of winning national championships. The example that many of the others were to try to follow, to have that kind of success.
And here he was finally able to go on the national scene with his teams and let the public know what these teams can do, how good they are. They're not just black players from a little black college.
When UCLA won 3 consecutive NCAA champions, it was big news. When we did it, most people don't even know about it. We felt we were a pretty good team. In fact, we felt that we could have won the NCAA if we would have been allowed into the NCAA.